Hello and welcome to Locksmith Talk with Nick's Lock. Today, we're here with Adrian Holly, owner of Dave's. Is it Dave's Lock and Key?
Dave's Lock and Key. You got it.
All right. So, Adrian, talk about yourself a little bit. This is your moment.
Yes, the elevator speech. I own Dave's Lock and Key, like you said there, in Bozeman, Montana. The shop's been in the same spot since 1956. We are a full service locksmith shop. We do commercial, residential, and automotive locksmithing. We also sell and service safes. And we cover all of Southwest Montana. On top of that, I am also the Northwest Regional Director on the board for ALOA. And so I cover and represent ALOA members from Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Washington, Alaska, British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. So
Not,
a little
not
trivia for
Alaska?
you. Yeah, no, Alaska's in there,
Oh, okay.
and a little known way north province called Nunavut,
Hmm.
up to the Arctic Circle.
Hmm.
You have to look that up. Yeah, I really want to go up there and see if I can't find a locksmith.
Well, you might have to expand your region a little bit to get up there.
That's right.
Okay, so I wanted to bring you on here and just kind of talk about, because Montana is one of those states that has what's called frontier counties, which is essentially means you have very, 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 very few people per square mile. So I realize Bozeman is one of the larger cities.
Correct.
Trying to remember my own geography lessons here. So in that instance when you have a lot of space and fewer people, what kind of challenges can that present for you?
Wow. Well, as I was mentioning there in the beginning, we cover all of Southwest Montana. Well, what does Southwest Montana really mean, right? That doesn't just mean Bozeman and the Gallatin Valley, which is the valley that Bozeman directly sits in, and that valley is surrounded by 5 mountain ranges. So it's a pretty big valley. It's about 30 miles across, and probably in all directions. But it's also a really long county. So that county goes all the way down to West Yellowstone, um, which is the west entrance of Yellowstone National Park. And that's about 90 miles due south of Bozeman. So that's a pretty large county. Bozeman's kind of in the middle of that county. But then we also serve Jefferson County, Madison County. We get over to Park County. We get over into Sweetgrass and Fergus County. Where else do we go? Lewis and Clark County. So I have, the Park County also houses Gardner, Montana, which is the north entrance of Yellowstone National Park. And then we also do service Yellowstone National Park itself, which is predominantly in Wyoming. But Jackson Hole would be your closest population base within Wyoming itself, which is south of Grand Teton National Park, which is at the very bottom of Yellowstone National Park. So oftentimes we are the closest locksmith to people that lose keys to their vehicles in Yellowstone National Park, which,
Wow.
like I said, West Yellowstone is 90 miles, actual road miles away. So it's a solid hour and 45-minute drive, sometimes 2 hours with traffic. And same with Gardner. It can be close to 2 hours to get to Gardner.
So you have really no other competition out there, huh?
Well, there's another brick and mortar store located actually on the same street here in Bozeman, and there's 3 other mobile locksmiths that I'm aware of. But yeah, it's one of the fastest growing counties, not only in the state of Montana but also in the country. And we do have the busiest airport in the state of Montana. Last year, we had just over 2 million people come in and out of Yellowstone International Airport. And that's a
Wow.
lot of people when you think about that. Within Bozeman city limits proper, we're not quite 50,000 people. Population, a little over 100,000 people in the surrounding communities. So it's a rapidly growing area. So there is competition, but not like you'd see in some of the larger metropolitan areas. And then there's just not a lot of people that do what we do in terms of safes, um, and primarily, safes and automotive are probably the two areas where we stand out in being able to service that large of an area in
Hmm.
Southwest Montana.
Okay, so obviously you're not Dave, so I'm assuming you purchased Dave's Lock and Key from Dave or someone after Dave.
Yeah, I like to tell people that I'm Dave number four. Uh,
Oh
yeah,
wow.
so
Okay.
Dave started the shop in 1956. He came back from World War II. He was born in the area. When he got back from World War II, he took a job at Boeing in Seattle and started a small kiosk out there in Seattle, making keys before he moved back to Bozeman and opened Dave's, where we are now on North 7th. He trained and sold the store to a couple named Carol and Winston Morrissey, who owned it for quite some time. They sold it to James and Mary Hannah, who sold it to me in 2023.
Oh, okay. So you're a fairly new owner to this business. Well, how long have you been in the industry as a whole?
I joined, I joined ALOA in 2016, started my locksmithing career at Montana State University the end of 2015. So almost 10 years total as far as being in the locksmith industry and then being a part of ALOA. I joined the board 20 end of 2019, started 2020.
Okay, so you started as an institutional locksmith then.
That's correct. That's correct. Yeah, I did not know that I wanted to be a locksmith. Didn't know much about being a locksmith. Uh, got a job at the university, and was working my way up, trying to better myself, get into better positions. And the university had a locksmith apprentice program that they had partnered with. I say partnered with, that they based off of ALOA's training, and started with their 5 days fundamental class. And so I took. I won the position, won the job, won the opportunity to be an apprentice, as you do with state institutional type jobs. I interviewed to be an apprentice, and took my 5 day fundamental class with Casey Camper uh, out in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Appleton, Wisconsin, and that was the start of me learning how to be a locksmith.
Interesting. So how would you compare the life of an institutional locksmith versus the life of a commercial locksmith?
That's a great question, Nick. It's it's kind of it's the same, but it's also apples and oranges, right? It's night and day. It, the institution was um, it was a Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4:30 type of job. Um, it was very routine, pretty laid back. Great benefits, right? Had good health insurance, great PTO package, retirement type package. Pay was decent, um, but it was pretty relaxed. We worked on a lot of the same stuff. It was really, uh, I would say, commercial oriented, right? Lots of heavy duty closers, grade one levers, exit devices. We did take care of all of the dorms and family and graduate housing. So we did have um, some residential knobs and deadbolts. One of our dorms was still using the original hardware from when it was built in 1966. That was a uh, Corbin master ring cylinder. So I learned about Corbin master rings. We were still using the same master key system from 1966. Literally the same biddings. We were rotating them through, but it was indeed the
Yeah,
key.
institutions like to hold on to their old systems.
Indeed, indeed. So it was really interesting because I think if you ask people in the locksmith industry, many of them will say, "Well, I've heard of something like that, but I've never seen one." And we rekeyed them daily. A lot of those were also installed in unit locks, so we did a lot of work on unit locks.
Unit
And we
locks
also
are
ran
a
a
very interesting lock. I'll grant
correct,
them that.
correct, yeah. It was about an hour and a half rekey. With
Yeah.
all of the parts that you had to take off and utilizing all of the rings in the master ring cylinder. But probably the easiest way to describe that job was we took care of a master key system for 20,000 people. And we had everything from your standard Falcon, uh, 5-pin keyway to a Schlage 1347 keyway, that Corbin master ring cylinder, Medico X4, the best small format keyways in the A, B, C, E, and F, G, and the B, 1, 2, 3, and 7, 9 keyways. So it was a pretty broad job in terms of what we touched, but also pretty narrow because we knew what we were walking into. We knew what kind of hardware was on the door, and we primarily had the keys to do the work to begin with. Now you flip that over to where I am now, doing commercial work and doing a lot of automotive work. It's we didn't do any automotive work on campus. We didn't even do car openings. Um, it was never a thing for us. Even with the automotive shop that we had within facilities, we didn't help them do any kind of key work whatsoever. Um, I did a little bit of safe work on campus, but now
Mm-hmm.
I do a decent amount of safe opening work. The most safe work we did on campus was changing a combination every so often. Um, Now I do, we do a reasonable amount of residential, lots of commercial work, a lot of automotive and safe work. So I learned a lot about access control, low voltage work, low energy operators, ADA operators
Mm-hmm.
on campus, and I've taken that with me out into the commercial aspect of things. I'd say the biggest thing that's changed for me, as I mentioned, was the automotive, but also when we go out on calls. Um, we don't know what we're going to see, right? We see a lot of old Corbin. I run into a lot of old Dexter, plenty of Weiser, Quickset, Schlage hardware and keyways. We also see a lot of bit and barrel keys too. People bring a lot of that into our store. So those are probably the to kind of hold those two things up against each other. Those are the comparisons and differences between institutional and commercial locksmithing.
So you mentioned that you're one of the ALOA directors. I happen to know you're currently down in Florida right now in nice sunny shine, and well, you're probably sitting in the air conditioned building, but
That's
um,
right. Yeah,
so
up in the hotel here. That's why I'm wearing my ALOA shirt. I'm at the convention, the national annual convention. Taught a class today, so
so today was the last day of classes. Is that correct?
that is correct. Yeah.
So classes went from Sunday through today. Um, And you've been there all week, I assume?
I have, yes.
So how has the from your standpoint, how has the week gone? What is the feelings of the week going for that you've seen so far?
The attendance has been great. Seeing a lot of familiar faces, seeing a lot of new faces. Um, Class offerings have run the gamut as they usually do at this event. There's been a good amount of automotive classes. We've had our standard. Um, we had our fundamentals class here.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we had almost 20 students in that class. It's a 4 day uh, 4 day class training there. Some safe classes, pretty mild safe classes. Your typical uh, no drilling, right? So we're doing dialing, diagnostics, that kind of stuff, and some access control classes and some business classes.
Well, that's very cool. So the ALOA show offers a large non-specific kind of spectrum of classes, whereas like the SAVTA or the automotive show that you were recently at, those are more targeted to a specific group and topic level.
Absolutely, yeah. So the annual ALOA convention is a broad general. It's geared towards the general locksmith like myself, who doesn't necessarily specialize in one particular area. I do have specialized portions of my business, but you could come to ALOA and come to this ALOA convention and take an automotive class. Well, I mean, I took a 2 day class about Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, and JLR, which is Jaguar Land Rover. I took a 2 day class on that. Then I took a class on Honda ignition and repair. So I focused pretty heavy on some automotive classes that I wanted to take. And then I took a class on bypass techniques. So kind of breaking and entering, I guess, is the easy way to say it, right? But it was about not just picking locks. How do you gain entry into certain keyways, certain locks that are non-destructive.
Okay.
And then today I helped teach a business class. So we're talking about managing your locksmith business and expanding it, and being able to learn more about running a business than just working in the business. Getting off the tools. Talking about inventory and employees and fleet management, um, cash flow, those kind of things. So really, that was my week.
Yeah, one thing I've learned because I've been in the industry for 2012, I think was my earliest days. Um, and a lot of our locksmiths across the country are great technicians. A lot of them do struggle with business. Business is a whole different animal than a lock. We can put it in our hands. We can go, this is. I know this lock. This is how this lock works. And you compare that to running a business, it's like having a chihuahua. It'll do what it wants to do and let you control it.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why ALOA has been focusing on business classes. You'll see it at each of the events that we have. We offer a business class, whether that's a managing this, building, expanding, trying to give locksmiths and those in our industry an opportunity to learn more about things that they don't know. I'm not a business expert, but I
Hmm.
have purchased a business and I'm running a business, so I have insight there. What I do have is I have access to people that know more about business than I do, and if I can take that and share that with other folks, that's what we're doing too. Another big part of ALOA's educational opportunities is the ability to network with people in the industry. Um, I just sat in a classroom with a number of folks who have owned businesses for over 40 years, and they were students, right? And they taught a lot of us just as much as we taught some of them. Myself and Dave O'Toole, who is a longtime business owner from Ireland. He's the president of the European Locksmith Federation and is on the ALOA board. Um, he's been running a business uh, for over 30, 40 years, right? So that's a lot of experience in just one room, right? And that was just this one class. You tie that in with the other people that are a part of this organization, that you have access to as a member. It's just, it's unbeatable. You can get on with people and email them and ask questions and ask for help. It's a great networking business tool.
Okay, so beyond ALOA, I know there are smaller regional associations. What do you have in your area that's a regional level association?
Another another great question, Nick. I again, as we started this conversation, I live in Bozeman, Montana. Some people might call that the middle of nowhere. I can drive for at least 5 hours in just about any direction but south and still be in the state of Montana. Um, so we're pretty disconnected from you know, regional population areas, right? Salt Lake is 8 hours away, Denver's 12 hours away, Boise's 8 hours away, and these are just areas that are close, that are much larger. And so I'm a member of the Northwest Locksmith Association, which is actually in the Seattle area, Seattle, Washington, and they're a time zone away from me, and but we meet
That
monthly.
makes scheduling fun.
Yeah, it can be a challenge, but we meet monthly via Zoom. They invited me to a meeting back during the pandemic, when they were still getting, they were trying to get together, and like most of us did, we utilized these technology platforms to get together and still meet from afar. And we've continued to do that. They invited me on as the Northwest Regional Director for ALOA. And at that meeting, I asked them, I said, well, can I submit an application for membership? I don't have a regional locksmith association. The Montana Locksmith Association isn't active. Could I join? Sure, you can join. So I joined and have really gotten a lot out of that, even though it's at distance. Um, I get to see other people in my industry, other colleagues and mentors, and be a part of that um, on a monthly basis. And then on a weekly basis, I typically get to see you and a few other folks in our weekly after CLK, our after party get together. And to me,
Yes,
that's
the Jimmy J's CLK after party Discord chat.
yeah. And
That's always a
I
fun
was
one. It's always kind of fun to hang out in.
It is. I was talking it up today because it's another opportunity to network, to share
Oh
ideas,
yeah.
to just blow off some steam if you want, but to be in a room, a virtual room with other like-minded individuals who understand what it's like to take a Honda ignition off of a car at 10 o'clock at night, or drop all the pins out of a mortise cylinder in the back of your van. Those are things that we can commiserate and support each other in.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, and Jimmy's Discord also is because it's because of the nature of a Discord server. I've been known to even jump in there. Hey guys, I have this question. I log off. I keep going on, and within 10 minutes, my phone's blowing up with 4 or 5 answers because it's always there. So no, I mean, yeah, you mentioned that the Northwest Association's a time zone away. The internet seems to have really changed the face of communication in the last 20 years. I'm old enough to remember the hard phone on the wall with a 19,000 mile phone cord, because you had one phone in the house and had to be able to reach everywhere you had to go. Of course, my mom's punishment was untangle that cord. we mouthed off to mom. We had to untangle the phone cord.
Right. The good old days.
And again, back then, if you wanted to talk to someone, you both had to be at a phone, and you didn't know if the other person was going to be at a phone.
That's right. So. Indeed. Yeah, no, we're really fortunate to have this technology. It's allowed us to get together in ways that we didn't utilize before. We really we're forced to travel great distances to see each other and have these kind of interactions. And we don't have to do that anymore. It's still, you can't beat being in the same room with people. Mm-hmm. You can't tear a Honda ignition apart. We could do it on here, but you can't put a leashy into a door cylinder and practice and just have you watch me and then say, okay, well, Nick, it's your turn. You could, right, if you had a leashy too, but to challenge each other, right, and to go over some different techniques and whatnot. So it's great being able to get together, but it's also, as I was mentioning before, what a benefit to be able to get together on this platform and really utilize the skill set that other folks have. Just like I was saying, I was in a room with people that had more business experience than I did, and I now have access to those folks, and we're going to be communicating in some fashion, perhaps on Jimmy J's after party. The more folks we can get together and share, the better we all are.
Absolutely. So with classes ending today, what does the next 2 days look like for your schedule? Because you've got 2 days of expo coming up. So what are you planning on doing for the next 2 days?
Well, I'll be working basically as an ALOA board member, and it starts tonight. We have the kickoff party tonight with all of the attendees and vendors. Get together and mingle and network again and say hi to people that you haven't seen. Get an opportunity to visit with folks that may or may not have been here all week that you just haven't seen, other than a coffee break or a lunch. It's a pretty busy schedule, but yeah. So kickoff party tonight, membership meeting tomorrow, the annual ALOA membership meeting. So I'll be sitting up on a platform on the dais, and we'll be presenting to the membership and then listening to them. Then starts the trade show. And I'll be working on the trade show floor and booth sales in the ALOA booth, traveling around, walking the trade show floor to visit with vendors, thank them for being there, invite them to next year's event, and then just generally anything else that comes up that needs to to be handled by somebody that's on the board or on the staff, we're available to do that. I do get to shop as well. I get to see all the new toys, and I've got a couple pennies in my pocket that I've saved to buy some stuff to take home with me. And so that's Friday, excuse me, Friday and Saturday that I'll be doing that. And then on Sunday, we have our board meeting. So
Awesome. So when will next year's location be announced? I know they don't usually announce until after the events. Do they have a real? I know they plan these things out 2 and 3 years in advance. Do they have a release date for next year's events?
They do. You want to do a drum roll?
Sure. It's Vegas.
Going back to Vegas. Yep, going back to Vegas. Always a great venue for ALOA. Going to be back at the South Point again. That's I believe we had a few years there after the pandemic where we had some long-term contracts, and I believe that this is the end of that long-term contract, and we will be celebrating 70 years as an association. So, yeah, June 21st through the 27th, South Point Hotel and Casino in lovely Las Vegas, Nevada.
Well, the good thing about Las Vegas is it's usually cheap between flights in between major airports. So,
correct, and that's one of the reasons that we end up going there quite often. It's an easy place to get to. The prices are usually pretty good. South Point's been a relatively affordable destination there, and then it's at the end of June, so it's outrageously hot outside. They're always trying to get people to come and enjoy the AC.
130 is not that hot. I grew up in the Mojave Desert.
I don't go outside. I get off a plane. I take a cab to the hotel, and I'm inside for 10 days straight. It's not good, but it's I don't I really don't have any desire to go outside.
So, well, I want to thank you for coming on here with us today. Thank you for sharing yourself and your opinions.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you for doing this. Appreciate you having me on.
Well, not a problem. And you know what? If you ever want to come, if you ever feel like you want to talk about what's going on in your area, shoot me a message. We'll get you on the schedule. So
let's do it again, Nick. I'd love to chat some more, and we've got a topic, and we can go over something specific, right? Flip the script, and I'll interview you.
You know what? I know at some point it's going to happen. I'm going to have to do an interview. So we'll see where the future leads us.
Yeah. Well, Nick, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate you doing this and supporting our industry and giving us a chance to share what we do and invite others to join us.
Yep.